just come up. There it is. You shouldn't be so. Okay, ready.
No, I need to hear it on there, so. That's okay. That works, right? Alright, let me. Oh, you trying to real jump. We'll take you to sit down. First? No. I'm just gonna video. No. I was gonna say no. We can try to keep the video up until they go have a seat. Oh, okay. Nobody else want to do it. And I'll keep it like this and just go chill. That's how it goes right now. Two people on the team. Me and him. This is how it goes right now.
Oh, that was nice. That was real nice.
I wanted to log in so it looked like an extra person. But I don't think it'll work on. I think it'll work. He's logging. No, I'm just, to view it. So it shows like an extra eye. Like it tells you how many people watch.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah, I'm looking.
right now we can wait till we get more people.
Yeah,
That's why I just want to play this.
It's like two people. Okay. I like that.
Next time we can, push out there that we're gonna go on Instagram Live. Next time we can be like, oh, we're gonna do it on Instagram,
Yeah, you got something there with you? Break down? Some people started pressing the heart. You just seen it popping up.
Okay, some people are able to see it when I log in.
People, how?
Because some people can see it, but every time somebody
We see it. No, he said somebody hit the button. Yeah, it's just these like when you get that. Something came up like that. It'll let you know. And a couple people did it. Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
I seen it, right?
That's what I'm saying. We don't see them logged in. I listen to it a couple minutes.
I wish there was a way you could bridge Instagram and Facebook somehow.
They have created Instagram and Facebook.
Like on the live.
Okay, somebody on the live.
Or like the links.
Somebody like if you drop something for Facebook, they'll automatically go to add you. Yeah, if you link your account together. Like actually, you can advertise on Instagram without even having Instagram.
Hey, let me know if people shoot out the names, like if somebody logs in or you know what I'm saying. I want to kind of get a shout out to people, especially people that know that businesses.
I think you should start that.
Yeah.
Most of the live Instagram battles I've been watching, they starting on time. People are jump in.
There.
How do they don't understand that.
Hey, we're getting started right now, maybe in a minute or two. We're gonna wait for a couple other people to log in. You know how people are, they're always 5-10 minutes late. Keisha, I see you're on there. I appreciate you joining us.
I had everything.
Hey, Derek, why don't you bring your phone here? That way, we'll know where we gotta stop. And we can see.
Okay, cool.
See, you know what I'm saying?
Alright, we live.
Yeah, I already introduced
see, I told him give me a minute or two. You know, people coming on late.
Oh, okay. Just go stop. Tell me, just let people just jump in when they get jumping.
Okay, we'll just go ahead and get started and just people come on, they come on.
Mm-hmm.
So today we want to do this obviously because we can't get together. Some of the people that know us, they know that we have classes, you know, on a monthly basis. Obviously, right now, what's going on, we can't do that. So we try to get innovative and start something different. Or not even really different, but just trying to, you know, educate people, make everybody aware situation, things are going on, and get some education at the same time. Right now, right here, I got my man Derek sitting with me.
How you doing, guys?
We have a few other people in the room that people that know us are gonna know who they are and their faces. I'm gonna introduce them, let them talk a little bit. But today, in general, we're just gonna be talking about, some of it's gonna be about real estate, some of it's gonna be about the economy in general, some of it's gonna be about financial markets, you know, all different kind of things. So, and we want to kind of do that so everybody can chime in. If you have a business, we're going to keep saying that. If you have a business, I want you to drop your information online, your website, your Facebook page, whatever, while we're talking. That way people can see you. And then later on, if somebody needs their services or something, you can get with me, or you can try to contact that person directly, and I can guide you to that person or lead you to that person. So that's kind of the form that we're going to do. It's going to be an open discussion. We want you guys to ask questions. What are you guys thinking? Now, we're going to stay away from the whole situation as far as the virus goes, because that's not what we're here for. We're here for the economic part of it, what the ramifications of that's going to be. Not necessarily, because we're not doctors. I can't speak about that at all. So that we're not doing any of that. So again, we'll get started. This is my man, Derek. I'm going to introduce him. I've known Derek for many years. I met him through another business partner that worked at the bank, Courtney. He's doing some investing with us. He does other things on his own. I'm gonna let him talk about that a little bit, and then we'll move on to somebody else. Go ahead, Derek.
So what's going on, guys? So basically, I've been trading on the markets. You know, I started doing stocks about maybe 5-6 years ago. From stocks, I found out about the forex market and just trading commodities and stuff like that. So when I mean commodities, I mean stuff like oil, you know, gold, things like those. You know, those are things that can actually be traded. And then, you know, most people usually don't understand that. Most people are under the interpretation that you can only buy these kind of things, right? But you can also sell them. So technically, whenever things are going down, like we're not like say like you know, the economy just kind of took a big toll, you can actually benefit from that. A lot of people don't know that, right? But so you can actually, like I was saying, you can actually benefit when it's going on the way down, on the way up, and that's basically where I execute. Basically, what I do is, you know, just depending on what the economy is doing and what's going on in the world, you know, you usually see big pushes up and big pushes down. You don't technically need the big pushes. You can, you know, you can profit off of the small little like moves that go up or down. And that's where I come in and I execute for the most part. And a lot of people, you know, they're like, it's hard and stuff like that. It's not too hard. It might take a little time to learn. But you know, I've been doing just on the forex side for about 1.5 years now, almost 2. Yeah, going on 2 years now actually. And you know, it could be very profitable. What I actually recommend for anybody is to look at something like that, because especially the situation that's going on right now around the world, we have to be at home. We can't go out to, you know, to go work and stuff like that. So this is something that's perfect, because if you just trade on the markets all day, you know, you don't have to go out to a job. You can, like I've been just staying at home, and I've been very, very profitable since this whole epidemic has happened, you know. So guys, like that's just something that's very, very interesting. Like I said, I've been doing it for about 2 years now, and I actually teach people how to trade, and you know, like you can either trade in the mornings, evenings. It's really upon your own schedule. So it's very, very, very interesting.
Derek, let me ask you a question. So what we're going on right now, you know, there's a lot of things in the market. The markets are dropping, crashing, things like that. What would you say? Are we in a buy and hold? Because we know opportunity comes when things fall, when they drop, and you want to get in now, right? So what is your opinion about how people should get in, or, you know, is it a good time to buy, or should they wait a little longer?
I would wait a little longer. I would wait for everything to bottom out. At least from what I'm looking at, from my perspective, I don't think that the economy has gone to an all-time low just yet. So I would potentially wait. I mean, you could technically buy and hold, and then if it recovers over the next year, cool. But like personally, I have the market shooting down. I mean, if we're talking about gold, I'm just gonna give you guys a little quick plug-in look at the 1330 area, maybe 1300, and I potentially have prices coming down there within the next, I can't really tell you a time frame, but I can tell you definitely that it will come down to that area.
And we're going to talk a lot about gold today because that's one of my big things as well. So we'll get into that a little later. But we know with the dollar dropping and things like that, that you're going to have to get into different things than just, relying on, your dollar being as valuable as it was in the past.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get into more of that. Derek, anything else you'd like to share as far as the markets go or anything like that?
So guys, technology's taking off now. Another big thing I want to kind of plug in, I guess you could say, is have a really, really, really like an eye on cryptocurrencies. Just because, I know people some people aren't too likable about it, but once upon a time, the internet wasn't so and people thought the internet was gonna crash. So that's something that I feel that I'm not saying that could become it's gonna go for long, but personally for me, from my personal preference, I feel like that's something that's going to be used, especially now with technology, just because the blockchain technology is just so it's amazing what it can do. Everything can be kind of tracked, where the money goes, where it came from, et cetera, et cetera. So it's definitely something that I would look into. Right now, it's actually lower than it's been in a long time. I haven't checked this morning because the cryptocurrency market is 24/7. It doesn't close unlike the gold market and whatnot. But definitely, guys, that's something I would look into. I wouldn't just potentially get in right now. I would maybe look at the $2,000 area because I do have it coming down to maybe $2,500, $3,000 area. But guys, just keep an eye, look on that. Especially if you're with the stimulus check coming in. Definitely, guys, you really want to take a second and just think about how you're going to invest that. I'm not talking about go out there and buy something that's you want to make sure you put that in something that's going to make you money in the long term.
All right, appreciate that, Derek.
How can they reach you, Derek? How can they reach you?
And guys, if you wanted to reach me, my name is Derek Pena. I'm DERICKPENA. Instagram, D_RAD, RADD. Once again, that's D_RADD. You can go ahead and give me a follow, and I'd be more than happy to help.
Appreciate that, Derek. And as you see, the reason why we brought him on, I'm not a stock market guy. I believe in personally my finances as far as physical assets. Like when I talk about gold, I'm talking about the physical asset of the gold itself. Something you could keep in your house or your safe. If you needed something like that. So I brought him on because he does this all the time. So again, we're gonna bring different aspects of different things on, so you get educated different ways versus just relying on what I believe or what I do. Because just because I do something in particular doesn't mean it's the best thing for everyone or everyone else. And like he was saying, we know that the cryptocurrencies are going to start growing. They're talking about, when you go to the store, don't use cash. There's a reason why they're telling you that. So, again, watch all those things. And again, if you're coming on and you didn't get us in the beginning, if you have a business or you're doing something, go ahead and drop that on there so we can plug you. We can do shout outs for you. We want to encourage all of that because that's what we're here for.
We have BC Eggs. Do you recommend any useful websites to look into pertaining to the stock market?
Definitely. So guys, just on the stock market side, it just really depends. But if you wanted to kind of have an idea of what's going on in the world, so there's usually big news that happens, every week or so. There's something called Forex Factory, and I know that you're going to be like, you're talking about only the markets right there, but if you go to the Forex Factory, go to the calendar section, you can actually see all the big news that's happening all around the world. Not the U.S., because this past week was NFP, which stands for non-farmers payroll. So that's usually when there's big jumps in the market. So I would definitely check out Forex Factory. And if you wanted to look at charts, even though you may not know what you're looking at, Trading View is something that you can actually look at any stock, any foreign currency, cryptocurrency. So definitely, like I said, guys, if you want to contact me on Instagram or even my email DPENA992@gmail.com. Shoot me an email and just be like, hey, I saw you on the live, and I'd be more than happy to help and maybe get a Zoom call going just so I can kind of give you guys a little more information, and I can actually show you live kind of how it works.
Appreciate that, Derek. Appreciate that. And then also when you come on and you do have a question, again, we have somebody in the background. My boy Courtney's in the background. He's filtering all the questions so we can get to them. So So don't be afraid to ask questions. If you have a reason, or you know you don't understand, or you want us to talk about something in particular, ask us. You know, that's what we're gonna do here today. Also, you know, for myself, everybody knows right now you're gonna have to get into other streams of income. If you're just relying on one stream, your job, you know, your career, that's fine. I'm not saying give that up. As everybody knows, I do several different businesses outside of real estate that, you know, I believe you have to have multiple streams of income. You know, it doesn't have to be your mainstream, but as we see today, you know, it's going to affect everybody. Even this thing that's happening now is going to continue to happen, I believe, in different things. It may not be what we're facing now, but it'll be something different, right? So if you don't secure that now, you're always going to be like, oh, what's going to happen next? And you're always going to be worried. That's not a positive attitude to have. If you secure your future, your finances now, you don't have to worry about that later. You don't have to worry about that later. So again, this is what we're here for. We're going to continue to do this until we can get live back in the classroom. Even then, I think this is going to be a good platform for us to keep growing off of. So Derek, appreciate that again. I'm going to bring up Jay. And Jay.
But before you do that, Eric had a question.
Okay, my man E was Eric. So I'm going to plug Eric a little bit. So Eric has a radio station, a live radio station in Houston. Check him out, Eric. Drop that down so people can see it. All right. So, and I've known Eric for a long time. I've been working with Eric, you know, doing some mentoring, that type of thing. Eric's a sharp brother. He's in the entertainment industry. You know, drop your YouTube, Eric, too, so they can check you out, see what you're doing. Also, like I said, drop your radio station. I know that comes on tonight at 9 o'clock. It's a local Houston station. Check them out. Eric, drop that information again. But what was your question, Eric?
Eric's question was, what are some areas you think the stimulus check would most affect? What are some areas you think the stimulus check would most affect? What areas? Would be. I'm sorry, he would be. What areas would be the stimulus check?
Okay, so for your stimulus check, you know, I'd say if you're gonna get that, because that's money that you're not really anticipating, or you weren't anticipating it at least before they said they were gonna give it to you, right? So take that money and put it somewhere, invest it in something, right? Don't just go and have a good time with that extra $1,200. Whatever you're gonna get, now I'm gonna go spend it and have a good time. No, invest it, right? That's what we're talking about here. That's what we're trying to teach people, to put your money somewhere that it's gonna grow. It's gonna continue to grow, right? Whether, like I said, I have several businesses, whether it's a business or something, you know, an investment. It could be gold. A lot of people, they can't get into gold because right now gold is at, you know, $1,600 or something like that, and it's climbing. I believe gold is, and again, we'll talk about some of that more of that later. But if you can't get into gold, you can get into silver. Silver's like $15, right? What I'm saying is do something with your money, right? $15, you can buy, you know, with $1,000, you can buy quite a bit of silver. And they're ounces. And speaking about that, the website that I use for gold and silver is called Kitco, Kitco. And it basically, you can buy it straight off of there. They have programs where you can put money down and you can, you know, they hold it for you, they can trade it for you, and then when you want the physical asset, they can send it right to you. So check it out, Kitco. It's an app, check it out. It also has the markets on there as well, but their main thing is gold and silver. This is my man Jay, like I said, I'm bringing him on. He specializes in any type of marketing, branding, Google, AdWords, things like that. I'm gonna let him explain a little bit more about it. Jay, go ahead.
Hi, you guys. I'm Jay. I have a website, Apex Perspective Branding and Digital Marketing. Anybody that wants to actually, you know, start a business, start branding a business, or start to scale their business is what I specialize in. Well, the first aspect I would touch on is actually this time where we're at now and actually being able to capitalize on starting a brand. Because everything is at an even playing field now, guys. So this is something that you need to just, you know, recognize in this economy that we're in. And, you know, just figure out a game plan of what you can start to capitalize on in the future. As far as advertising goes, you still can use your Facebook, you still can use macro influencers, macro influencers, Google. You can use all those aspects to still advertise your business. There's certain ways you can actually go into it and market your business for free. I will leave my website, apexperspective.com. And you can also follow me on IG, Instagram at Apex West, and that's pretty simple. You got any questions for me?
Yeah. So if somebody's new in the business or they want to get in the business, what do you think is the first thing they should attack? Obviously, we know social media, all that's big now.
So the first thing you attack is actually coming up with your mission statement, which is way important than anything because as far as a brand goes, you want to actually be known for your brand and known for certain things you bring to your customers. So for instance, you use just Apple for example. When you think of Apple, it's already a phone that you recognize because it has an Apple symbol on it. It's really just branding. So when you think about it, anything that you want, you can start to brand. So as far as getting the first step to start actually brand a product or a service, is actually building that foundation in your brand or product. As far as your mission statement goes, as far as just developing that overall foundation for your brand, and as far as your colors go, as far as your font goes, I actually have free content you guys can actually see on my page, which is, I drop it again, apexperspective.com. It has free content on there. You guys, I'll show you how to create a logo for free, different ways you can start to, start to bring in different incomes to your brand, or whatever the case may be. But what else you thinking, Z?
What have you been doing since the stay at home? What have been some things you've been doing in your marketing?
Well, the question was, what have you been doing since you've been staying at home, and as far as marketing goes?
So at this point, the best thing you can do now is actually start to develop those ads and see how people will actually engage in those ads during this time, because things have changed. When you think of from an advertising standpoint, when people engage into your ads, it's from a psychological standpoint. It's from a more so off emotion, right? So in this time that we're in, things are starting to skew a little different ways. So at this time, you can start to play with your advertisement a little bit and start to see certain ways you can come up and just being creative, basically, with your ads and with your platform, basically, and see how you can start to make things work.
What have you been, give some personal examples of something that you've been doing this past couple of weeks that you've been trying to work on Apex or just building? People want to know what.
So what I've been doing in a couple weeks past is actually developing videos for you guys to actually learn skills you guys can get into. As far as, like I said, building a foundation for your brand, building a logo for your brand, just find out different ways you can start a business, whether it's just e-commerce or whether it's a service, just selling a service. It gives you a whole breakdown on how you can go about that. So that's what I've been doing lately to provide some type of value to you guys. So hopefully, that'll work out.
Key words that Jay said was change. It's different now, right? And then education. So we have this time on our hands, right? You got to educate yourself now. Don't sit around and waste this time. Oh, I'm at home now. I can just watch TV or something like that.
Right.
Again, what we're here for, we're not selling anything to you, right? We're saying we have different streams of revenue that we've created that if you like, we can include you in those things. I'm a real estate investor, things like that. Everybody pretty much knows what I do. There's deals and stuff you can get in on that aspect. So we're trying to create, or we're trying to educate you all and also provide you opportunities where you can get into that you can start creating different streams of income. But you got to educate yourself first.
Right.
Don't just take our word, right? And then what he said is about education. He's putting some videos online for you guys. Educate yourself as far as marketing. I've been talking to a lot of people about reading books. Educate yourself now. Know what's going on, right? As far as what we're going through. Watch the markets. Don't spend too much time worrying about what the markets are going to do.
Right.
Versus how can I take advantage of what's going on now, right? And then that's what Jay is talking about. Jay, I'm gonna let you say a couple other things.
To piggyback off of that, it's just investing in yourself in general at this time. Because at this time we have so much free time. Well, I guess it's not really free, but our time our norm has changed. So in this time, it's the time to capitalize on just investing in yourself and figure out ways you can start to build a bigger stream of income from multiple different ways. So
he dropped it down. He dropped what he does. He dropped his website. Also tell him to put it on when he gets back to type it in so people can actually physically see it. Also, like I said, if anything that you see here you want to take advantage of, just let us know. Hit me up. I can direct you to wherever you want to go. Like I said, we all have multiple streams of income that we're creating right now. And we want to help you guys do that as well.
Right.
All right, Jay, we appreciate that.
All right, thank you.
We tried to get it. Drop it one more time. Bro.
My Instagram is APEXWEST, Apex West. You guys can find me there, and you can look me up on Facebook, Jay West, as well. So appreciate you guys.
So one other thing, hey Courtney, because Courtney's kind of managing the questions and things. Who we have online right now? I want to
So right now we got Eric, we got Sharon, Nicholson, we got Jay, we got Demarion, we got B, Keisha, and we got some questions from a couple people wanted to know how you got started with Fix and Flips. B wanted to know what are some of your other businesses, and I also wanted to know what other books was you getting into when you mentioned you were talking about.
Okay, so the first one, how did I get into flipping? I actually, the first house that I did, I actually just lived in. I bought a house, I lived in it and fixed it up as I lived in it, and I sold it for there. That's how I really got started. Well, let me back that up. I got started with taking one of Robert Kiyosaki's classes. I went to his school, paid a whole bunch of money. That's what kind of got me into teaching other people. Love Robert Kiyosaki, read all of his books. He makes things simple. He tells you like it is. If you don't follow him now on Facebook. Robert Kiyosaki. He has a lot of useful information. But also at the same time, I don't encourage people to spend a whole bunch of money in his schools and things like that. And why do I say that? Because there's other ways you can learn things like that. Now, if you have the money and you just have it and you're sitting on it, you don't know what to do with it, education is never going to lead you wrong, right? But you have to be willing to use that education. I know so many people that were in that school with me that still haven't really, used the education that they learned, but they spend tens of thousands of dollars to get it. So don't just get education for the sake of getting it, right? Although it's good, but get it with the anticipation that you are going to use it for something, right? So that's why I say you can get educated now. Follow his page, read some books. If you want to get into real estate, read some books. Like I said, the first property I did, I actually just bought a property that I lived in. I fixed it up. I lived in for a couple years. So basically it was rent free by the time I sold it. So I lived for a couple years rent free. Once it was done, I sold it for a nice profit. And then I was able to blossom from there doing, investing in other real estate. That's when I, came out in different areas, Texas, different areas like that. And then I was able to take that money that I made and to buy more properties. And it just one thing led to another, and you just build. It's a building process. None of this stuff is going to happen overnight, but you have to start now, right? You got to start now. What was the other question?
So that was how do you get into Flip and Flicks? BC, she said, what are some of your other businesses?
Like I said, we can get more into that. Reach out to me personally. I don't want to just start plugging my businesses and things like that. Again, I more want to educate people. But if you get on our Facebook page, just say, shoot me a message and we can talk further about that. Because, I don't want to spend my whole time speaking about what businesses I'm into. I want to educate people and teach people, how other things they can get into. So I'm going to keep it kind of general for today.
Okay. And then you mentioned you tell the people what books. With Demarion, he just talked about Rich Dad Poor Dad book. That's
absolutely. If you haven't read that, that's like the start.
That's the Bible book.
Yeah, you got to start with that. Rich Dad Poor Dad's first book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and he has several series in that series of line. That's why I say follow him. You actually can download some of his books for free. He offers them for free as PDFs. Just Google it, Rich Dad Poor Dad, Cash Flow Quadrant.
You have games.
Yeah, he has a game. Maybe later when all this stuff clears up, we can all get together and play his game. I have his game. It's a good education tool. Like I said, and he also has education for kids, which is awesome. Teaches kids right now. Because not only maybe we can't take advantage of it as much as we can, but if we start teaching our kids now, based on the situation that we're in, we can see the future is different now. The future is different for all of us, and especially for our kids. Start teaching them now. Don't just push, and excuse me, this is my platform. Don't just push, go to college and get you a good career. It's a different time now. Those things aren't going to be like they were when our parents were around. Even when I grew up, it's different now. You got to educate yourself and figure out different ways to create an income, right? That's what we're trying to tell you guys. I'm gonna bring on Courtney Price real quick. I've known Courtney forever. He's a banker. He's investing with me. I'm gonna let him shout. He does a couple other things. I'm gonna let him do his own thing. You see, he protecting himself. You know what I'm saying? Nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing? I'm Courtney. Like he said, I've known Aziz for a while now.
And yeah, now we're in Houston, getting into this real estate. I've been in banking at retail banking for about over 7 years. Right now, the banks is being flooded with questions. One of the main questions that we're getting flooded with right now are SBA loan questions. There's $2.2 trillion that it is out there for us to retrieve. How do we get it? How do I get that paycheck protection program? So these are some of the questions that's right now in my world that's being asked in the financial industry.
And that's how I met Courtney. I went in to open my business account when I first got here, and he was just moving from Atlanta to Dallas, and I was moving from DC, Maryland area to Dallas, and I went in there and was like, "You from Maryland?" And it just went from there. We had a relationship from there. He's also, I'm gonna let him talk about other things. He's also a realtor. He breeds dogs.
Yeah.
So, hey, talk on it.
Yeah, so I'm also a realtor here in Houston. One of the things that we have been doing in the real estate industry to adjust to this new norm is virtual settings, virtual showings. The property that I just listed, we had to take some virtual pictures. We added virtual pictures in here to show you what the house can look like, since we know a lot of people can't come out, or with the stay-at-home order, we have a lot of people staying at home and they can't come out to the property. So we want to give them as many options with digital methods that we can. So virtual showings, virtual pictures is one thing that the real estate industry has been doing to adjust. The real estate industry does plan on taking a shift with a lot of people being laid off. You're going to have a lot of people, wanting to probably list their houses. You're still going to have people wanting to buy houses, but you probably will have more people wanting to list now. Ross just briefly discussed I do dogs. Just getting into the French Bulldog area. That is something that my fiance and I are doing. But yeah, real estate and banking is what I'm in right now. Looking to do real estate full time once this takes off.
Question.
Before you get into that question, drop your, and I'll have you drop it again. I know you have an Instagram page.
Oh yeah. Instagram is Real Estate of Mind, all one word, and the number 7. Or you can just follow me on Facebook, Courtney Price. And yeah.
What about your, I know you have an Instagram page for your breeding, right?
Yeah, follow my dog's page, Sasha the Frenchie. Sasha the 2 East Frenchie. And that's on Instagram. She's a character. Go follow her. What question you had, Jay?
So as far as anybody trying to budget right now, what's the best way to budget for, I guess, just to be ahead in this time?
Yeah. So one thing I'm advising my clients is to get ready. One of the best advice somebody told me to is you have to be prepared and be ready for when the opportunity presents itself, you're ready. So personally, when I'm doing this clearing debt, if you have any debt, this is a great time to get rid of it. So when you do apply for your loans or whatnot, your debt to income ratio will be as low as possible. So try to get rid of your debt. Take advantage of these programs out here right now with the SBA loans, with these. It's a lot of programs out. If you have any business, a DBA, sole proprietorship, or LLC, you qualify for SBA loans. That's all you need, and they're giving up to $10,000 a grant. They have it's $2.2 trillion. Do not let that go around without some of it touching your hands. At least try to get your hands on some of that. Clear some debt. The only reason why you need to get your hands on it is to clear some debt, or help you stay afloat during this time of hardships right now.
Absolutely, and I'm actually speaking upon that. I have a meeting with someone that's an expert in the SBA field. Once I go through that, whatever I learn, we'll share another video to help you guys kind of get in. Now, obviously, we always know with government loans and things like that, there's a lot of paperwork involved, which scares a lot of people away. But we're here that we can help you out with that as well. Just from the experience that I'm going to do, because obviously I'm going to take advantage of it as well. But good thing he also said was about debt, right? So you may not be able to take your stimulus money and go invest it somewhere. Maybe it's not enough, right? Maybe you got some bills to pay off. Maybe you got some credit cards to pay off. That's still an investment, right? It's an investment for the future. Pay down some of your debt. Don't just go and spend the money because now I got some free money in my pocket, right? Don't go and buy things and put it somewhere, because we know, again, pay down your debt like he's talking about. We know later on down the road, we're gonna see what kind of effect this really has on us. And we know it's gonna be something, right? We don't know how big yet, we don't know how long it's gonna last, but it's gonna be there. So why not take advantage of now, pay off your debt? That way, when deals come to the market, which they're gonna come through the stock market, currencies, real estate, all those things, they're gonna start coming. You wanna be prepared, like you said. And if you got good credit, if you pay down some of your debt, you can take advantage of that through your credit, right? Doesn't necessarily have to be, cash in your pocket, right? Or we can all team up, that's what we do here. We team up on different deals, so things like that. Anything else you wanna add?
Yeah, I was gonna mention also one good thing that I've been recommended is take advantage of these forbearance and forgiveness. So student loans, they're doing year of deferment. Contact all your monthly expenses, insurance company, cell phone, car loan, any bills that you have. Ask them if they have any COVID-19 forbearance opportunities. Take advantage of that. If they're going to give you 1 year, don't have to pay any student loans, take that, clear off some debt that's on your credit card. That is how you'll clear up some. You just want to get your monthly expenses low as possible. And then right now, this is the perfect time to get your monthly expenses low as possible, because the government is giving you so many chances and opportunities to like no rent, maybe half off on your rent. When somebody's giving you half off on rent, don't take that and blow it off. Take that half off. You just want to spend it anyway. Boom, tackle a debt. Try to tackle a debt with the highest interest rate at that. Go to your credit. It's a lot of ways. This is an opportunity to take advantage to clear your debt if you can. Now, some people are not in that position. Some people did lose their jobs. Some people are not. But if you are, don't look at this as a time to play. Look at this as a time to get ready for when that time is going to present itself, when the economy is going to shift. And then you'll be ready to get a line of credit, because your debt won't be none. There will be no debt after this. That's why I'm looking into it. There should be no debt after all of this if you're in the position to continue to work.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's it.
Appreciate that, brother.
No problem,
Appreciate
man.
Wait, hold on.
Okay.
We got a question from Eric asking, what are some essential requirements that banks look for small business inquiries and SBA? And do you have any bank suggestions for those us inquiries?
Okay. So as long as the bank is FDIC insured, you can go to the bank. Also, credit unions are a part of this CARES Act. That's what it's called. It's a CARES Act. But there is no requirement. You just have to have an LLC or a DBA. Go to SBA.gov first. So a lot of the banks, I can tell you right now, are not ready for the payment protection program. Right. Okay, so even though the administration last Friday said that they will be ready, that is false. We're not ready. There's not one bank here, at least here in Texas, that's ready. And typically, the big banks work. If it's not here in Texas, it's not going to be in DC, Atlanta, or anywhere else. So they're not ready yet, but that doesn't mean you can't take advantage right now. Just go to the SBA.gov's website, apply for the website. You can apply for a grant up to $10,000. I did that. That was 3 pages. Do that, and then next week I will start contacting the banks, credit unions, and seeing what does the application process look like. But as of right now, like I said, I haven't heard of one bank having a application process for the Paycheck Protection Program. That's really the only thing that the banks are taking care of right now, the Paycheck Protection Program. Everything else is dealt with the SBA directly. That paycheck, you go to the bank and get that. But any bank that's FDIC insured should participate in that.
And like I was saying, we'll have more information about that on our next talk. More instructions. Like, it's still new right now.
It's so new.
There's not a whole lot out there, just besides what you hear on social media or something like that. So we'll get into it.
Good question, though, Eric. Good question. Any other questions? All right, y'all. Hit me up again on Courtney Price on Facebook or Real Estate of Mind, the number 7 on Instagram. Y'all have a good one. Stay safe.
All right. So now we're gonna get more into the economy and real estate, and I'm gonna speak more about that right now. Again, I just want to bring a couple people on that do different things and can offer some different value to what we're talking about. One question I did have is Cell on, Courtney? Is Cell, Marcel, is he on?
No, I don't.
You can get on? Okay.
No.
Okay. Well, if he gets on, because I talked to him.
Oh yeah, we did plug him in. This is
I'm
Marcel's
shutting
watch.
up. Yeah. I wish he was on. This is one of our brothers that has a watch company. One of the only
Black owned.
black-owned, only one of few black-owned watch companies in
He's
not only
amazing.
the United States but in the world.
Mhm.
I was hoping he was gonna be on here so I could give him some plugs.
Yeah.
But probably I'll get him on here next
You
time.
can grab it at Macy's, y'all.
Absolutely.
Go grab it at Macy's. This boy, this is my college roommate. He's great.
And that's also Marcel is also, you know, he takes on investment. He's a startup company. I wouldn't say he's been in business here for a few years now, but he's still in that, you know, growing phase. So he takes investment. You know, some as little as, you know, $2,500 something. But you can get in with, you know, him. Again, we'll just give you different avenues of places you can invest your money. And I'll have him on, you know, maybe next week. He can talk a little bit more about what he does. All right, so now I'm gonna get into the economy, right? So we know right now, what do we know? A lot of unknowns right now that are going on. What do we know? The markets are dropping, right? We know there's a huge influx of unemployment, right? If you watch the numbers, you can see all the people that are getting laid off. But where most of those people are from, entertainment, not entertainment necessarily, hotel, hospitality, you know, travel, you know, things like that. You know, any business like that has to deal with a lot of people. If you're working in certain stores, you're getting laid off, you know, things like that. So we know with that situation, that is the bulk of the economy, which is unfortunate, right? But again, so some people that have some jobs that I wouldn't say any job is secure, but you have a job that is maybe not affected as much, like you're in IT, you know, things like that. You can work from home, you know, other businesses that you're still going to service people, you're still going to make money. You can take that and maybe, you know, again, invest or help other people. But when we say that, so I have several houses on the market now. So when you're talking about the real estate aspect of that, my philosophy always was, what I've always learned when I went to Robert Kiyosaki School from other people that invest, is you want to invest into the mid to low when you're talking about flipping. Our rental properties, you want to invest in the mid to low range properties because that's the bulk of the community, right? And most people don't have, you know, a lot of money that they can just, you know, go out and buy a whole bunch of things, buy expensive houses. So when you get into those high-end flips or those high-end rentals, you're going to eliminate a large market, right? So you want to get into the mid to low. But so we see right now, because most of the jobs that are being affected are mid to low. So what do we do with that, right? Again, you're always going to be able to sell things, you know, as far as real estate goes. But what is the waiting period now? That's really the big question. And we know it's going to be longer, right? Like I said, I have several properties that are into that mid to low range area that may take a little longer to sell now. So what do we have to do? Right now, we're still waiting and seeing what's going on. I've been talking to a lot of real estate agents, a lot of real estate investors, and that's what they're saying. The market on the mid to low end is being affected the most. Now, people that have, you know, jobs, careers, doctors, they're still making money. They're still buying things, right? So that's the mid to high range, right? So they're gonna still be out buying things. But again, most flippers and people like that, real estate markets and things like that, we're on that other end, right? So again, how's it gonna affect us? We're still unknown about that. What I would say though is if you haven't bought anything yet, I would wait a little while. Like some of the other gentlemen said, wait a little while, because those things are gonna start dropping. Those numbers are gonna start dropping. You can come in and get good deals, whether you do rental properties or you wanna flip them, you're gonna get good deals. Now in some areas that I like to invest in, Houston, Maryland, Virginia, you know, DC, some of the other Northeast, California, those areas, even with 2008, we've seen they always had a strong market, right? They always had a strong market. So how are they gonna affect us? They may not affect us as much. And that's what we're all looking at. We're hoping that that's the case, right? It doesn't affect us as much. But again, when we're talking about Houston or Texas area, there's a large employment rate of people that work in, you know, retail, hospitality, those type of things. So we know it's gonna affect us, but how much, right? I always thought Texas did a good job with making sure that their economy was strong, right? If you have people, you say all the time, oh, you know, we want to make Texas a separate state. You know, people talk about things like that. Here in Texas, you know, we're not on a mandatory lockdown or anything like that. We're still out and about. You know, we necessarily suggest it to be out if you don't have to be. But the governor here is like, hey, we're going to make money. You know what I mean? And we have to still make money. We have to secure our future for our kids and our families, right? So that's a good sign for me. Now we're talking about DC, Maryland, Virginia. They usually always have great markets. It's a government-based economy. You know, a lot of the businesses there are based on, you know, contracts with the government. They're still going to operate. So that's another great market. Again, the phase we're in now is just wait and see. Now, if you have rental properties, right, that's a huge thing right now. Everybody was pushing before rental property. So the problem that we have now is that they're talking about don't pay rent. I don't, you know, everybody has their opinion about that. If you say, oh yeah, I support you, shouldn't, if you're a landlord, you shouldn't take people's rent. Well, if I'm a landlord, unless I'm some big tycoon that owns a large apartment building, I gotta pay the mortgage still too, right? So when people are pushing don't pay rent, how does that affect the investor, right? It's not his fault that the situation is happening, right? So again, let's make sure we create our own thinking versus what everybody else is saying, right? Because you may be pushing that now, or you may have pushed it, oh, they're wrong for charging you rent. You don't know that person's situation that they're renting from. You know, if everybody starts paying rent for somebody that can't support that, then their family is not eating either, right? So, you know, and then some people, if you can't, obviously, if a person can't pay rent, you know, obviously you're gonna have landlords that work with them. But some people are taking that philosophy where, you know, I don't have to pay rent because, you know, the situation we're going in. That's a bad philosophy to have, right? You know, don't take that money and say, oh, I'm gonna fill out this application and not pay rent so I can go invest it somewhere else. No, you know, we don't want to affect people that way or the economy that way. So, you know, that's one thing. Again, if you have rental property, you know, if you can give somebody a break, give it to them if you can afford to. If not, then, you know, don't feel guilty if you have to charge somebody rent. And those people that are renting, don't take that philosophy where I'm not going to pay rent. If you're unemployed and things like that, and you don't have the money, obviously that's a different circumstance. But if you do, you know, continue to do what you've been doing. Right? Don't change that because now you see you can take advantage of a situation. Don't do that, right? So now again, so that's kind of the real estate market. What Courtney said was virtual staging. So we did that on this property here that I'm actually at now. We did that because what you want to do is if you do have properties that you're trying to flip, if you get into the virtual staging, people can see the house. Like add a lot of pictures, virtual staging. They can see the house without having to come out. Right? And that's a big thing. You still got buyers out there. The first day we listed this property, we had 3 showings. They came out. So you're still going to get people that, again, in this price range, we're a little bit in this area. I think we're a little bit on the middle, more in the middle. So we're getting more traction on that because we're not on the low side. So people that have good jobs, you know, that have good careers and things like that, they can afford to buy this property that I'm talking about and some of the other properties. Now the lower end properties that I have, it's not a whole bunch of traction, right? People are kind of waiting and seeing what they're gonna do. But even then, you're gonna have some people that are still out there buying, right? Everybody right now is scared and thinking what's gonna happen, things like that. That's another thing. I want you guys to think positive, right? The situation is a situation, you're not gonna change it, right? Don't sit around and be worried about what's gonna happen, things like that. That's why we're here today, right? Educate yourself. When you educate yourself, then the fear goes away, right? They're pushing fear. Again, everybody has different opinions about it. I'm not going to speak about that. But what I'm telling you guys, think positive. If you educate yourself now, again, the Depression, more wealth was created during the Depression than any time in the era of history, right? Again, take that as an example. Take history as an example, right? If we're in a bad situation now, there is going to be a lot of opportunity to grow. You just gotta educate yourself. You gotta do the right things, like Courtney said, pay off some of your debt. You know, prepare yourself now so when opportunities do come up, you take advantage of them. And that, again, that's why I take a passion in doing this. What I'm doing is because I believe that if you're in a bad situation now, if something like this happens again, you don't have to be in that situation, right? If you take advantage of education, the things that you learn, you know, you prepare now. Next time if something like this comes around, you'll be ready, right? Versus, oh, I got a good job. Okay, what if that goes away, right? Don't just rely on working for somebody else and thinking, you know, I'm gonna be okay, you know, I'll be able to pay my bills, you know, those type of things. No, create different streams of revenue right now, right? Educate yourself on how to create different streams of revenue, because if you don't know what a good opportunity is, right? You don't know what a good business is. Again, I hope there was some questions about, the real estate markets. I'm gonna open that up. But what I'm gonna do is, as the questions are coming in, I'm gonna move on to the other ways to get in. So we talked about a little bit about gold and silver. I feel very strongly, because Cordy talked about $2.2 trillion. You got stimulus package. All this money influx is what they're printing is gonna affect the dollar, right? So what does that mean? When we say affect the dollar, what does that mean? Your dollar is gonna be less. It's gonna be worth less. What does that mean? If a car, you can walk into a dealership now and buy a Nissan Sentra for $12,000, right? So when the dollar is decreased, so now that Nissan Sentra, that $12,000 is gonna be more like $14,000, right? That's gonna start decreasing. So I've always been a firm believer in putting your money in physical assets. That's why I'm in real estate. That's why I do precious metals, gold and silver, because those things you can take them anywhere in the world and sell them. It's always gonna be something that has value because it's a physical asset. I can take it, hold it in my hand, drop it on the floor, keep it in my safe, whatever. You know what I mean? I always had that as an asset. So Kitco.com, like I said, KITCO.com. It's gold and silver markets, and it talks about that. I strongly suggest, if you have the means, to get into some gold and silver, right? And like I said, Kitco has services where you can put a certain down and you can buy a certain amount, and as it goes up and down, you basically pay on a monthly basis. And as it goes up, you can sell it, and you can take some of the money out, or you actually can take some of the gold and send it to you. You can put it at home, for safe, put it away. People are scared, they're going to be running the banks and things like that. Well, if you have gold in your house, are you worried about that, right? Because you have something already there. If there's a situation or an issue that you can't go to the bank, you have something. And physical gold itself is very easy to sell. There's shops all over. I don't care what area you are. You can walk in any gold and silver shop and sell it for what it's worth at that point. Whether it's an ounce, they don't ask the questions, and what I suggest is called American Eagles. They're, some people do Canadian, some people, I suggest American Eagle coins. They're 99% pure, and they're the easiest to sell, right? You take them anywhere in the world, you have American Eagle, you can sell it, right? Especially here. And for me, with my experiences, it holds the value the most, right? And again, if you get on Kitco.com, you can read more about that, educate yourself about that. I'm not, a gold and silver dealer, so again, I'm not an expert in it, but I'm just telling you what I do, right? So again, I strongly suggest you start putting some money in gold and silver.
BC just asked, would you recommend to purchase directly from Kitco or an actual gold and silver store?
It depends. Now, if you're only going to go and purchase a couple ounces, I would go into the store, right? First, again, because of the situation we're in, call the store, make sure they're open, right? Because they may not, I don't know if gold and silver shops are open right now. I haven't visited one in a few weeks, so I'm not sure. So call and see. But if you have, a few thousand, I would go buy the actual gold itself. Now, if you have a little more than that, maybe, maybe $4,000 or $5,000, you can call Kitco and buy it directly. Like I said, they have a program that you can put that money down and you can purchase a certain amount for the future, right? So if I put $5,000 down, I can say, all right, I want to purchase 20 ounces, right? And what they're going to do is they charge you a fee, a holding fee, and it's almost like a trading fee, but they call it a holding fee. They basically store it for you, and you're paying every month. Now, if the price of the gold goes up, they take that and credit it to what you own, right? Or what you suspected to own after you pay it off. Now, if you come into somebody, you can pay it off, tell them to send me the gold, right? Or you can just keep it in there and add more gold to your portfolio if it goes up. Say, all right, now I want to purchase with the money that I earned 10 more ounces, right? And I'm speaking about gold here. Our silver, the same thing. I want to purchase 10 more ounces. You can keep doing that and growing that. What I would say, that's again, like I said, educate yourself. Go on Kitco.com. There's books out there you can get on, Bigger Pockets. There's a lot of websites out there that talk about gold and silver. And gold and silver has been talked about for many years. The reason why I'm so strong about it, I had probably maybe about 10 years ago, I had the opportunity, and even actually 10 plus years ago, I had the opportunity to buy gold when it was low, $300-$400 an ounce, right? And I did not, right? And every day I kick myself in the butt that says, because I didn't buy it. If you think about, it's at what, $1,600, $1,700 now, something like that. If I'd have bought it $300 an ounce, you do the math, right? If you'd invested, I invested in some business, other things. If I had invested maybe $100,000 in that, where would I be today, right? But so that's And again, that's another thing. Don't be afraid. I don't know how much money I have to go in and just, that's why we're going to help educate you. Don't be afraid to go in and make that investment. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. What you do if you sit on the bench? What do they say? You sit on the bench. Nothing, right? Nothing's going to happen if you just you get into that fear aspect. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that because I'm afraid of what's going to happen. It's hit or miss, right? Like I said, that's why I gave the example of the opportunity that I missed out on gold, many years ago. Again, so don't be afraid to lose, right? This game, sometimes you lose. I know people don't want to hear that, but that's a part of the game. You're gonna lose. Sometimes you're gonna fail. Sometimes things don't work out the way you want. Would I have thought when I had all these properties on the market that this was gonna happen in this situation? No, but you can't basically anticipate those things, right? You read the news, you read the markets, what's gonna happen. Things like this happen, nobody knew what was gonna happen, So again, if you're always in fear, and again, unfortunately, I think that a lot of this is breeding fear into people's minds. Again, I want you guys to take a positive attitude to say, I'm gonna prepare myself, so I'm gonna be all right, and I'm gonna teach my kids, and I'm gonna teach friends and family. Even if you just suggest them to come on here, you're gonna help them prepare too. That way, you don't have to be in fear of what's gonna happen, or somebody dictating how you're gonna pay your rent, or how you're gonna pay your mortgage, how you're gonna eat tomorrow. Again, so we got a couple more questions. Okay, we're gonna wrap up in a couple more minutes. Again, this is general. We're gonna keep doing this, and I would hope there were more questions. If you have any questions, real quick, ask me. Again, so this is still kind of new, right? So we're still waiting to see what's gonna happen. But I wanted to start a platform now to say that we're gonna be here, and as markets change, things change. We're gonna help, educate and talk about it, and have an open forum where other people can talk about it. Again, and also we're going to plug people's businesses. I know small businesses are struggling right now, so we want people to get on here and plug their businesses to create more business, right?
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends. Tell to other people. The more people we have on this platform, if we have businesses that people can profit off of, or you can take advantage of, that's good for all of us, right? And that's what we're trying to create here. So in a couple minutes, we're going to wrap up. Is there any closing questions or remarks anybody want to make? All right, we'll appreciate you joining us. If you don't like our Facebook page, please like it.
Oh wait,
Okay, go ahead.
Just on another business side, guys. If you guys are on the north side and you wanted some food, go to on 11381 Airline Drive. My parents have a restaurant out there, so just like we're plugging in businesses, we're still open. I want to make sure that we're making sure that we take every precaution to make sure that we can provide really, really good quality food. So once again, 11381 Airline Drive 77037.
Definitely support the small businesses. And then, like I said, if you don't like our Facebook page, please like it. Anything that we say here, you can go back and watch the video again. You can ask us questions later. You can just message us. Anything, we're open. We're here for that, right? And as things progress, and as we find out more how long this thing's gonna last, we'll have more information for you. One thing I did forget to add, that again, all the markets right now are so volatile. So I would say really kind of wait and see what's going to happen before you just jump in and start purchasing. I see a lot of people say, I'm going to refinance my home, 0%, which is great, but take that money and sit on it for a while, right? Before you just jump out, the market's here, the market's there. No, wait for a little while longer and then jump into the markets, whether it's real estate, stocks, whatever it is. Wait a little longer so we can really see what's going to happen, and then we can help direct you, or you can find out for yourself, or you can ask professionals, what's the best approach or strategy that I have. The best strategy right now is educate yourself. Don't live in fear, stay positive, and know that there's going to be some great opportunities coming up very soon in the near future. And with that, we're going to sign off here, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for being a part of this.